All right. A little late, but this is part two to what are the most productive habits. The answer again will be down below in the link. One's for Medium, which is where I wrote a little bit more to this topic, and one's for Quora. Um, so we left off with point number 5, decisive answers. If you've not looked at the first video, please check it out. I guess I'll link that in the description as well. And the next thing I wrote down for this is to keep a to-do list with you. The big thing here is that throughout the day, a lot of stuff happens. There's a lot of things that bother us, that just come up, or that we remember that we forgot about before. What we need to think about then is how do we get this into actual action? Because chances are we'll just forget again. Chances are that whatever we think we should do or would be good to do, we will just not remember when it comes time to actually do it. When you keep a list with you, however, whether that's just a small piece of paper or a post-it note or you have a notepad on your phone open, it doesn't really matter what it is, but if you keep it with you, you can in that moment write it down. And what that does is that it gets it out of your head. You probably had this before, that you're sitting at work and thinking about, I need to go grocery shopping. What should I buy? What should I eat today? Or you're realizing, I still haven't done my laundry. Well, what should I do today? Is it time for colors? Is it time for blacks? Is it time for whites? And you're just thinking about this, and you're thinking and thinking and thinking, and obviously that robs you of your energy, that robs you of what you currently should be focusing on in that moment, and it does not, and it just has no use here. You're at work. You're not gonna go grocery shopping now. You're not gonna do your laundry while at work. At least most of us won't. Okay, fair enough. Most of people nowadays work from home, so maybe that's a little different at this very moment in time, but generally speaking, you would want to have a list with you so that you can get these thoughts out of your head and onto a piece of paper. And what is even better is if you put a timestamp on it. If you say, tonight at 6 p.m. I will do 1 load of laundry, for example. That puts it out of your head, and whenever that thought arises again throughout the day or throughout the week or whenever, you can reference this. You can look at the note and say, no, it's taken care of. The only thing that will disrupt this is then if you don't follow through with that. But that's a little bit of a different story. For now, we're just looking at what can get you productive in this moment and what can get you productive, more productive, what are good habits to involve that just get you more energy throughout the day. So this would be number 6. Number 7 I wrote down is remove useless apps, tabs, and clothes that you do not wear. I would even go one step further and say also remove stuff that's on your desk or in your room or in your workspace, anything that does not help you out, anything that's clutter, essentially. I know there's scientific research done on this. I am not familiar with most of that myself, but I do know that there are these facts that essentially the idea is kind of the same as when you're driving and you turn down the music to be able to concentrate better. Anything that touches one of your senses robs you of a little bit of concentration, even if that's just something in your visual field. But that's also true if it's something that, for example, you own, like more clothes in your closet than you ever wear, and it just makes everything seem so much fuller. And there's so much more stuff, there's so much more to take care of, there's just more pressure through everything that does not have a place, a time, or a purpose in your life. So the more stuff you remove of stuff that you do not use, stuff that you do not have to look at, stuff that's dirty, everything you do to clean up your life and to minimalize it will actually help you out quite a bit. Now, there's a little bit of a disclaimer here, because even in a very minimalistic life, if you're still living in a place that's a complete mess and still full of stuff, even if it's not that much stuff, it will still not feel that good. So the suggestion that I wrote down here is to every 3 months, clear your desktop, clear your phone, and at least clear your closet out of stuff that you have not used. This includes apps or programs that you've not used yet. This includes any tabs that you may have saved in your favorites. This includes any clothes that you have not have worn in that time, and this includes also anything else that you feel is just doesn't have a purpose. If you do use it occasionally, at least put it down in the cellar or in the attic, somewhere where you don't find it, or in a very deep-rooted folder somewhere on your desktop, somewhere where it's still there, but it's not within your normal field of vision. You can still get it, but it should not be available to you that easily. That'll just clean up a lot of this mess and this thought process. Also, if you do have a place for everything, that's for example on your desk, in your room, in your house, etc. If you have a place for everything, it makes you feel a lot better. So that's a little side note there. Well, I guess it's more than a little side note, because point number 8 is spend 5 minutes a day cleaning. Just 5 minutes. And this goes again to that example of the desk. I guess I already pulled this point ahead a little bit, so I won't talk too much about it. But it's essentially the same premise as the last thing. Just spend a little bit of time cleaning each day, especially the places where you spend a lot of time at. Whether that's your office, your desk, your computer, whatever it may be, just clean that up, make sure it's nice and neat for the next day. It just helps a lot with your energy and with your productivity. I know it may sound weird. If you don't believe me on any of these points, please try them yourself and actually experience it. That'll do you a lot more than listening to me talk and hoping that I'm right. Another thing that really helps your productivity that most people don't do is to engage with people that are further than you. I'm not going to say better or worse, I'm just saying further than you in where you want to go. For example, if you engage with people that are more active than you and are more physically fit than you in your sports, that's really a good thing to do for furthering your physical activity. If you want to further your job or your career, it's obviously better to talk to a person that has the job that you want or that is already where you want to be career-wise. But try to engage with them at least in some form. Now, we don't all have the resources available to us to engage with this person face-to-face, but it's fine to read a book about them, to listen to a video that they created, or to find them in any other medium. You don't have to interact one-on-one. It's obviously better if you do, and the closer you can get to it, the better that is. So the more senses it touches, the more you will get from that person. But overall, you just want to be able to engage more with content from that person. Try to learn from them. I would even say try to copy them as much as you can without plagiarizing them. Try to just copy what they do or how they do it or certain aspects of their body language, their nature, whatever you can. Because there's a reason they are where they are. Now, they may have done some things that you wouldn't agree with morally or idealistically or whatever, but there's still a reason why they are where they are. At least trust in that and listen to that a little bit and try to see what you can get from that person. You don't have to adopt everything. That will just get your mind essentially more knowledge to use or to pick from that can be used in these situations and that can make you a little bit more productive. So this is a really good thing and something that I think people use way too little because they think they know it all or they hope it just works out for them. But they don't make an actual effort to learn more or to get more knowledge of what they could do. Point number 10, I wrote down a stick to your choices, and I'm just reading through that really quick. Alright, so I'll just read it out. Not all of the choices will be great, and you will always miss out on something, but if you stick to the choices you make and suffer the consequences, you learn to make better choices rather than avoiding bad consequences, right? So this will keep you streamlined to positive results. What I mean by this is that a lot of people try to avoid the negative results from an action. They try to, how do I say this? They miss out on the negative reinforcement. So let's try to do this in an example because I think that'll be better. Let's say you're eating a chocolate cake, right? You're going to eat a chocolate cake, and that's something that um, you're not really wanting to do, but you picked it up from the store. It's there now, and you're in front of it's in front of you. You're eating it, and then you think about, is this really such a good idea? Should I really do this? And you kind of put it to the side and walk away from it. Now, when you stick with that choice, you should stick with it. And you can stick with either one. You can stick with the cake or the walking away. Any choice you can stick with, which makes this a little bit convoluted, which is why I'm stopping a couple times here. The point, however, is that you need to look at the negative things that come out of it and not try to prevent those. So when you're only eating one piece of chocolate cake, that may make you feel like, oh, it's fine. This is okay. This wasn't that bad. And you avoid the awful feeling of eating way too much. You avoid maybe the incredible increase in weight and the scale. You may avoid the sugar rush or whatever other negative consequences could come with that because you limited your choice. You didn't commit to it fully. The same way, if you do decide to walk away from that piece of cake, then decide to walk away from it. Don't look back. In fact, if you're not going to eat this, throw it out. Really commit to the choice. Yes, you'll lose out on the money. Yes, you'll lose out on the cake. But if this is your choice, this is your choice. Too many people try to prevent and build up walls to kind of keep these negative results at bay, and then they don't learn from it. And they make the same exact choice the next time. Imagine if you ate that entire chocolate cake in one sitting. And you feel awful, and it hurts your stomach, and the weight on the scale is ridiculous, and it's just a complete mess. Like, you got chocolate all over yourself, it's all over your face, you look in the mirror, and you almost start crying, you just feel awful about yourself. If you do that, the chances of you buying another chocolate cake anytime soon reduce drastically. You just most likely won't do it. The same way, if you walk away from that chocolate cake and actually throw it out into the trash, and then you look at the bill of it, or you look at your bank account balance, and you see that chocolate cake cost $20, only for you to eat one slice and then feel terrible about it, you also likely won't buy it again. The point is, allow these negative experiences in, allow these negative consequences in, because that will give you more than trying to run both paths where you're doing a little bit of one thing and then a little bit of the other thing, and you're kind of weaving your way through without really committing to either or decision. That'll just keep you buying chocolate cake, eating half of it, feeling pretty terrible, not great, and it's just not going to further your life at all. It's not going to make you productive either, because this is again something that keeps draining your energy. Every time you pick something, it drains your energy, because you have to then fight the chocolate cake, you have to fight it again next time. It's just it ends up being a habit that you get yourself into, that you have to fight all the time, and it's just not helpful. So stick to the choices that you make, even if you don't think they lead to good results. If you do want to change your action or your decision, you can do that, but then commit to that one fully. You're going to have to commit to something. Don't try to halfway do both things, or all of the things, whatever options you have. And then the last tip on this answer that I have is laugh. At least once a day, laugh as hard as you can. Most of us have forgotten how to do that. We watch a video on YouTube or we watch a movie, and it's fine, it's funny. We say that, but we don't really laugh. You have people that are there on their phone that look at an app and go, huh. And then keep going without actually ever, breaking a smile. Just that little snort that comes out, and that's not real laughter. That's not really releasing it. As you maybe have noticed if you watched both of these videos up until now, there's a lot of this stuff that's just about releasing stuff and holding on to less that you have, because everything that you hold on to drains you. You want to be as free and as light as possible. That way you can do more, because that way your energy will be available to direct wherever you want it to go. And that also means laughing, letting some of that out, allowing yourself to laugh out loud. That means when you're sitting at home, looking through a post on, I don't know, some meme site, or watching a YouTube video, or whatever it is that you do for fun that you would usually snort at, try to break a smile. Fake it a little bit. Try to actually laugh out loud. Enjoy yourself a little bit more. It is a skill that you can redevelop. If you watch a lot of funny videos and you start laughing more and more at them, and you just allow yourself to do that, you get more into the habit of really laughing out loud, which carries a lot more weight than just giving a snort. I would really recommend that you try to seek out something that makes you laugh at least once a day, if not more often. Again, this is something that's very hard to correlate to productivity, other than with the release I just mentioned. So I would really recommend testing it out. You kind of already know that if you're feeling good, you do better at your work, you do better at your job, you have a better day when you're feeling good. So we're trying to force that a little bit. That's the idea of this habit. Okay. That covers all the 11 ones I wrote in the blog post. I hope that me explaining them a little bit more in detail gave you a little bit more. If you have any questions on any of these points I made, even in the last video I forgot to mention this, please comment it down below. And if you want me to go over any specific answer, please also comment that answer. Please actually comment the link. I won't, block it or delete it, because I've written quite a bit and I don't know all of them by heart. Otherwise, I will just continue to go through the top most viewed ones and just try to elaborate a little bit on them, give you my thoughts, maybe even sometimes share a little bit of what happened as I was writing this. Yeah, this turned out pretty long. I was hoping this would just be one video and ended up being two, and two really long ones at that. I'll get better at this. Give me a bit to really get good at this video stuff, and hopefully the videos become sharper. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.